Good afternoon. My name's Skip Miller. We're at the home of Dusty and Bill Graham's house in the north end of Hagerstown.
I'm Dusty Graham. We're both Master Gardeners with the University of Maryland Extension Service for Washington County. We're going to show you 3 things today. Things you can do while we're all at home with the coronavirus stay-at-home orders. So now's a great time to work in your yard and get things ready for spring and summer. We're going to talk about 3 things: perennials, bulbs, and hopefully taking care of the deer and the rabbits that you might have in your yard. So the first thing we're going to talk about is perennials. And I look at my garden in the spring, and I see that and I know from last year I had way too many Solomon Seal and Black-Eyed Susan. So now's the time to get rid of them, and I will dig and divide and move them to either a backyard, give them to a friend, someplace else in the yard. We usually have the Master Gardener plant sale at the end of April, but because of the virus, we're not having it, so I need to move these on to someplace else. Skip is going to show you about digging and dividing.
I'm using a nice spade here. It's got a shaft on it. It's very strong. It's got an ergonomic handle. The face of the shovel is nice and shiny, and it's got this very good step toe to it. When you divide, you want to come up to your plant and get about an inch away from the foliage, inch to 2 inches away from the foliage, and make a downward thrust. Maybe at a slight angle, 15 degrees or something like that. You want to go around 360 on the plant that you're trying to remove. Maybe you have to rock it a little bit sometimes just to loosen it up. And when you make your final cut, you want to go down as deep as you can and lift straight up, and it'll bring up things like this. So the idea behind that is you've not disturbed your root base. Your roots are still in good shape, and you've got nice dirt to work with there. Dusty?
Next, I'm going to use this Hori knife that I have. This is my favorite tool for the garden, and I use it all the time. One side is a straight edge, the other one is serrated, so if you want, you can do some like a sawing motion. So I'm going to look for the roots, and I want to divide these a little bit if I can, like this. If I need to, I can use my knife to help me go inside and divide them up. I will then take them and dig another hole someplace else, not in this garden, in the back, and put my plants in there.
You might want to take some of the original dirt with you that was there to go to your new location. That way it'll have some remembrance of where it was and be able to adjust to the new location.
Now's the time to dig and divide. You also think about what plants you want to put in. I like to use perennials because they come up year after year. Some of them will get to be too many, like this Solomon Seal started out as just a few plants, but have certainly moved on to be way more. So I am always thinning this area. The next part we're going to talk about is bulbs. And bulbs at this time of the year, the daffodils are no longer living. They are spent, so I'm going to go down and cut to the bottom where the bulbs are in the ground. And then we need to keep the foliage because the nutrients that are in the foliage are going to go down and into the bulb. And Skip is going to show you can either leave them like this, they have to get yellow, or he'll show you what you need to do next if you want.
You can grab a handful of something maybe 2-3 inches in diameter and come down about halfway on the foliage, make a nice cut, but don't bend it in two to make a crease. You just want to keep it over. Take your elastic, rubber band, whatever you're using, and surround that. And again, it'll just allow the foliage to remain in place and healthy, and all that nutrient, as Dusty mentioned, will go back down into your bulb and give you a nice source of energy for next year's growth.
Also, I have some Siberian Iris that I know I need to transplant because it's growing in a circle. It is in a circle and there's nothing in the center of it. And so I know that this is telling me it's time to move these. In fact, I have a circle here and it's starting to build another circle over here. So after it blooms in June and thereabouts, and then the leaves become yellow, so it'll be later in the summer or fall, I will dig these up, and I should use a fork of some sort so I don't disrupt the bulbs. dig them up. I'm going to wipe them off, clean them up a little bit, let them dry and sit out for a couple weeks, and then I'll transplant them someplace else. But they're too close. Same thing with my plants over here. I have these bulbs, too many daffodils in this section. And so what happens is they won't bloom as much. So in the fall, after I've turned them under like this, I will cut off the tops, dig them up, do the same thing as far as dividing, let them sit out and dry a little bit, and then I will transplant them somewhere else so they're not quite as thick. They're too thick. I also have some perennials here. I have two that are growing in the same place. So I will certainly, after they've finished growing and they die back a little bit, I'll need to do some transplanting. Finally, I have deer problem. I have deer and bunny rabbits that love to eat part of my garden. And you can see that the edges are ragged. So I know this is not a cut that I made. These are animals eating them. So there's a number of things that you can do, and you have to find something that they don't like the smell. So their product, urine works, human hair I understand is good. There are products on the market. Liquid Fence is one. Here's a Repels All, Plant Skid, Irish Spring, and Irish Spring soap. Skip's going to show you how you do that.
I'm just using an ordinary vegetable peeler, and we're just going to carve off shavings around the plant or whatever you're trying to protect, the tree or whatever it may be. You don't want to put them down too heavy, but it has to be strong enough that when the rain and water interacts with it, it gives off the scent that you want to use to repel the animal.
You'll need to leave this on for about 2 weeks. Change every 2 weeks. You need to get something new because they get used to the smell that's already there.
The last thing we wanted to talk about was mulching. Mulching this is a nice commercial mulch right here. It's made out of a wood product. You can see it's got some decompensation to it, where it's has some strong fibers, but there's still a lot of loose stuff to it. You want to put down the mulch about 2 inches around the plant base, about a 2-inch depth, and this will go 360. And the idea behind this is to kind of level it out. As the water comes down, it'll shed off there, but it'll also be absorbed into the wood or into the mulch material that you have. And as time goes on, that moisture will still be retained in there, and it'll be able to feed the plant and to maintain the plant growth as time is on a day like today where it's very windy and things will dry out fast. The water will still be retained in there and it'll be good. Just one last tip: when you're complete with your operation, you do want to clean your tools, get all the dirt and everything off there, so the next time there won't be any rust and there won't be any kind of well, that's not working. There it goes. But
and finally, if you have any information or need more information or would like to know more about these topics or anything else that we have, the University of Maryland has their own website, hgic.umd.edu. That is the Home and Garden Information Center, sponsored by the University of Maryland. There's lots of tabs that they have at the top. You can find out about diseases, you can find out about vegetables, shrubs, trees. It's a great resource. I use it all the time. Annette Cormany is our horticulture educator for Washington County. She's got a great source of information in her head and to her tools that she can look up. And so if you have any questions or need some help, you can contact Annette. The office is closed because of the virus, so you can't get her in the office and the phone number, but you can certainly get her from the email. Also, the last thing is the University of Maryland, for the Master Gardeners for Washington County, have our own Facebook page, and you can go to the Facebook, Washington County MD Master Gardeners, and there's information that are uploaded all the time for our information for you to use. Thanks so much. Happy gardening.